If I want to locate the right people,
Sure.
what are the qualities that I would look for in order to make sure that I have a person have fundamental right attributes, so the chances of succeeding with that person is higher than a person who is missing those attributes?
I think there are certain fundamental attributes that have a greater likelihood of predicting success. I look for resiliency because you're always going to have setbacks. In fact, the higher up you go in an organization, your job title really is problem solver because you're no longer dealing with the routine. So I want a person to be resilient. I also want a person to really be self-aware, and that means being able to describe their own failures. I might ask someone, tell me about a failure that you have. And if they don't have any failures, well, that to me is a red flag that they're not trying hard enough. And if a person could be self-aware, void of hubris, and say, here is an endeavor that I failed and here's what I learned from it, I believe that that person is going to be more adaptable to meeting the needs of the marketplace. Because I might hire the right person today, but that external marketplace is going to be different a year from now. If you look at the compression of time, I think the CD is becoming, or already has become, obsolete. It's only been in the marketplace about 27 years. So now products and services are becoming obsolete in a shorter and shorter time frame. So I can no longer look at my 5-year business plan because a year from now I know it's going to look very different. So I can't guarantee that the skills that that person has is going to be required a year or two from now. But if that person is resilient, if that person is self-aware and they can describe a failure and what they learned from it, if that person understands the difference between business failure and personal failure, then I know that they're going to be nimble and flexible like a reed in the wind. And what I like to hear a person describe their job as creating shareholder value, regardless of what it takes. Instead of waiting for me to say, you need to be trained on this, that person on their own is self-aware to know, I see the marketplace changing, I want to pick up these skill sets or core competencies to adapt. An unsuccessful and a very successful person have one thing in common: 24 hours in a day. And I might say that we really want to train ourselves to work smart as opposed to merely working hard. So another thing that I look for is a person having the ability to constantly re-engineer their jobs, so a year from now they're doing it differently from how they started. Because we can't push out the 25th hour in a day. And I say that there's really no badge of honor in working 80 hours a day and ignoring the other important components of your life. In class, when I speak to my students and I do executive coaching, I will say that let's define our inner circle. Our inner circle starts with us and then the people that we care for. It could be a significant other, children, parents. And how do we protect our inner circle? Well, there are many components. There's emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. But another way that we need to protect our inner circle, again starting with us, is financially, with the ability to earn. So if I know someone is able to constantly re-engineer their job and do it better and adapt, then I know that they're self-motivated, that they're going to correct a problem before I even see it. So in conclusion, I'm looking for resiliency, self-awareness of failure. Often when I ask, well, tell me what some of your weaknesses are, many of us have been trained to have a weakness sound like a strength. And I believe that that shows that a person is not willing to be completely honest. And I think if we embrace our humanity, I would want someone to feel confident enough to be able to say, well, here's a weakness that I have, and perhaps here's what I'm doing to work on it. For someone to have no weaknesses, they're saying that they're good at everything, and that's analogous to someone saying everything is important. And when everything is important equally, nothing is important. So the ability to know their weakness, be self-aware, and also self-efficacy, the belief in themselves to adapt. I want people to understand that the formula that if I could be successful, I could be happy, is cognitively broken. And I'm also looking for people that understand that the real relationship is reversed. If I could be happy, regardless of my circumstance, I could be successful. If I hire someone like that, I know that they have a greater chance of achieving their goals because they're not waiting to achieve a specific goal to be happy, that they're using that happiness advantage to achieve that goal. Because if you wait for a goal achievement to be happy, we just move the goalpost the next day. And at the end of the day, Russell, all things being equal, I do believe that people want to work with people they enjoy. I believe that people want to be a part of something greater than themselves. So we've spoken before. We use the example of we have 3 bricklayers, and we ask one bricklayer, "What are you doing?" I'm making bricks. The second bricklayer says, "I'm building a wall." The third bricklayer says, "I'm building a cathedral." I want to hire the person that no matter what job they have in the organization, they get the task significance, that they understand, regardless of what they're doing, they're actually building a cathedral because they want to be a part of something greater than themselves. Then I don't really have to spend time monitoring that person's performance because they're passionate about what they're doing.